Say he collapsed and never regained consciousness. A cause of death has not yet been determined. Now, while instances such as that are rare, parents, of course, are still wary of any type of injury that their children could get while playing sports. Joining me now is Dr. David Hardin, who focuses on sports medicine at Brookwood Baptist Health, and he's here to talk to us about what parents need to be aware of. Doc, as we were saying just before we came on here, this type of death, this player in Mississippi, that's a very rare thing.
Very rare.
It still worries parents, though. But so what should a parent know about that? Right.
Very rare, thankfully. But if that's a 1 in a million kind of thing, and your child's that 1 in a million, doesn't matter how rare it is. So a lot of times those tend to be related to heart issues that may have gone under the surface. But that we kind of flush out as doctors doing our annual physicals for these kids.
With other injuries that are much more common, the knee injuries, things like that. I know you're all about working with the school and with the coaches. Tell us about that.
Right. So one of the kind of half-joking things I've heard coaches say is, are you hurt or are you injured? And we work with the coaches to kind of help them make those decisions, help the kids make those decisions. Is it just a bruise that's going to get better with a little ice and rehab, or is it something more serious like a cartilage or a ligament injury that we really need to pull the kid off? And so that's really the foot soldiers, the guys on the ground there, our athletic trainers, who's making all the difference there, working with the coaches. They know these kids day in, day out, and then they've got us that they can kind of call and update us, and we can get them in to get the diagnostics that they may need to help make those decisions.
So it's having someone there on the sidelines to say, no, Joe, you can't go back in. You really are injured or something like that. Concussions, of course, in football is something we've heard a lot about. What does a parent need to know about concussions?
Yeah, concussions, of course, have made the news in several regards, and it's generally not been good news. And there's been movies, there's been big pushes from the NFL. The big things there are avoiding that concussion on top of another concussion. So kids are so prone sometimes to think that they can get back in the heat of the game, that they're just a little dizzy, it's not a big deal. And that's where, in the heat of the game, having the doctors there and having the trainers there can really work to tease out what's actually going on and prevent that kid from having a kind of a second hit on top of the initial one.
And talking to your children about that. Don't hide that from me.
Don't hide that from the coaches. They're in that for the kids. The game will be over at the end of 4 quarters, but that brain you need for the rest of your life.
Well, Doc, we're running out of time, but again, the big message to parents is work with your school and with your doctors and with your kid, right?
Right.
Keep them all on the same page.
All on the same page.
All right. Thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.